Next scene, beer summit. Skip Gates, not most famous black professor at Harvard, most famous professor at Harvard, is arrested in his home for being in his home. Reporter asked the President of the United States, now you're not talking about, this is important, now you're not talking about a skinny, scrappy, big-eared senator trying to get past Hillary Clinton getting whooped on in the news with no power or nothing, who steps up and talks like a grown person. Now you're talking about the President of the United States. Now you're talking about the most powerful human being on planet Earth. Now you're talking about the leader of a nation who says, upon hearing that the most famous professor at Harvard was arrested in his house for being in his house, that struck him as somewhat foolish. Next scene, President of the United States sitting down at a table across from an arguably racist white beat cop having a beer summit. What does that tell you about race? If the most powerful human being on earth can't say about the most obvious foolish thing that could happen, the truth, without then having to sit down and drink a beer to try to calm down the country. If he can't talk about it, you got the signal. He said, I'm going to be quiet for a couple years. It wasn't until Trayvon that he finally came forward and said, well, if I had a son, 3 years of having a president who wouldn't break breath. And it took this tragedy for him to even break breath, to just say the obvious.